Today we're back on the Elizabeth line at a station which is having its finishing touches added as we speak.
Looking like a magnificent cruise liner, but actually a station, it's Canary Wharf.
Hello! Welcome to Series 5, Episode 2 of the Hidden London Hangouts. My name is Alex Grunden. Hello, how are you? Good. We're going to go to Canary Wharf today on a very exciting day on the Elizabeth line for that station. And I'm not there alone. I've got the amazing folk from the London Transport Museum with me to guide us through the tunnels and have a laugh along the way. Chris Nix, first of all, how are you?
Hello, Alex. I'm very well, thank you. And I'm here with the best I could do this week for a mug, the letter C for Canary Wharf. I see you've gone for the Johnston as well. And I'm also joined by Mags behind me.
It looked for a minute like the cat was on your shoulder, just sort of peering. Oh, it was marvellous. I love it.
It's the fact that the viewers will just have seen his tail sticking out of that side of me, which is why I mentioned it.
I love that. I never get any less confused that a male cat is called Mags, but there we are. Sidney Holloway is in the diary room. Hello.
Hello. Lovely to be with you all. Should I try to talk to you about sort of what annoying thing happened today and how I'm dealing with it?
Sidney Holloway, Sidney
Holloway
is talking about her dinner. It's great.
I did talk to him about it. I definitely did talk to him about it, but he just couldn't remember. No, I'm not in the diary. That's my impression of being on Big Brother. I'm joined by my buddy here, Mr. Orchid. I don't have a mug on me, in fact, but lovely to be with you today.
Let's face it, the way Sidney's TV career is going, it's not going to be long before she is on Big Brother, I reckon. And Laura Hilton Brown is here as well. How are you, gorgeous?
I am good, thank you. How are you? I was just thinking, actually, that I bought this mug today, which is the lovely gift that Jen sent. We all got one, didn't we? But this was the one that I chose. And I have a cat on my lap. I have Molly, so I'm one-armed, and I normally am quite animated, so I'm going to struggle to just do it one-armed. But I am loving, Alex, your little subtle set changes behind you there. I've been identifying a few little changes, but it all looks lovely.
That's very, very kind of you. And of course, I still have my own Elizabeth line cushion to enjoy as I sit here. And also, it's very excited because in the London Transport Museum, the masks were back as well. Elizabeth line masks. So it's a very, very auspicious day at the museum. But anyway, you're all looking fantastic and welcome to the show today. Now, we are at Canary Wharf and we started our day. Chris and I went for a wander around to see what was going on. It was a day, wasn't it, Chris, where it was a big day for the station, wasn't it?
It was. We struck while the iron was hot. The station had just been handed over from being a building site into its trial operations and acceptance phase. So yeah, we got in there in the few short hours that we were able to do that before the station had to get on and be used for other things.
I love it. So Chris met me at the DLR station for a small perambulation. Do you know, it is freezing this morning.
It's not warm, is it?
And I have to say, we're just by the DLR. I've just got off the DLR. But where we're going today, this doesn't look like a station. It looks like a boat.
It does, and in some ways it is, because it's been built in a former dock, and it's a big box. It does really kind of want to float. So I rather like the fact they've given the back end like it's almost a cruise liner.
And when you look at this, is that all station, this entire floating pontoon?
Yeah.
Well, it's not floating, is it? Because it's right down.
Well, I mean, if it didn't have enormous piles 30 metres down into the chalk, it would be trying to float and probably succeeding. But what we've got here is the station built at this surface level and then all the way down into the ground. And then above it, it has shopping and even a park on top.
That's pretty impressive. Now today, only today at 4 a.m, this station was handed over.
Yeah.
Now when you talk about handovers, I'm thinking you get the set of keys, you get the council tax letter, and you get the Wi-Fi code. Is that what's happened here or
it's
not?
It's a bit different to your studio flat.
Okay.
So what has to happen is the station goes from being a building site or a work site and starts moving towards being a working operational station that members of the public can buy a ticket and go and use. And that process takes a little while because all the systems have to go through a process of the staff being familiarised with them and learning how to use this as a station. So really, in the middle of the night, this ceased being a work site and started to move towards being an operational station. Wow. So you'll see staff in uniform in there, and you'll see most of it is now functionally complete to work as a station.
And when you talk about what's down there, I'm assuming it's handed over, but there's still going to be sort of stuff, builders
finishing
stuff,
off, yeah,
still
exactly.
there.
So equipment they've been using to do finishing off is still down there. There are still a few things like we'll see the ceiling, I think, has got a few bits of finishing off, but everything that's essential for safety or for basic use of the station is done.
I love it, and we've had the practically finished stations, so this is kind of the first and only opportunity we're ever going to get to see a station that's just literally been handed over. So
yeah,
that's kind
I
of
love it. I mean, it's handed over, you know, not 12 hours ago, and here we are, we're straight in,
and
as it should be.
As we come across, I mean, even this looks like a gangplank, doesn't it?
It does.
Everything is very nautical in its design, and probably when you think about all the other docks in the Docklands, everything's a bit like this, isn't it? It's all bridges and things that look like boats.
It is.
So
It's quite charming, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just hope you bought your steamer trunk. The porter will take it aboard. And,
Oh, not the trunks. No, not that kind of thing.
And well, next time you see us, we'll be inside with a high-vis.
Yeah, so it's high-vis and it's masks for this one, isn't it?
It is,
Because
yeah.
when we filmed this, the rules were if you're indoors and especially on public transport, you have to wear a mask. So we've got our masks.
And I'm very pleased I brought the right one.
And can I show you something as well? Actually, I'll show you later.
Okay.
Because there's a bit of a twist. If you've got a sweet tooth, you're going to love it.
Right, see you in a moment.
Looking forward to this. Let's do it. Do you know, as I was watching that, all I was thinking was, have I got a ball patch for me? That's the weirdest thing.
Alex, have
Yes.
I?
No, you're good, Chris. You're good.
Okay, thanks.
Oh,
Thanks,
gee,
it's
does it to
reassuring.
me every time. Oh, marvellous. Oh, well, it's two of us together now. It's great. Really, really interesting, Law, to see how Canary Wharf sits within the Docklands area. And it is all so wonderfully nautical, but nice, isn't it?
I do love the nautical theme. I'm a big fan of the water, and from what I've seen so far, I think that the architect and the designers have really incorporated the water into their design. So what's lovely about Canary Wharf is that it's obviously surrounded by water, and it's going to connect that key business district area back into London and the West End and Heathrow, and it's all about connectivity again. I know I go on about it, but I do love that. And if you look at this image here, what I really like about it is that kind of archway at the side over Big Easy there. I mean, it's sleek, isn't it? It's sleek and it's classy, but there's a really small element for me about quite contemporary, futuristic design as well. So I'm excited to go inside to see how that's reflected in there as well.
Well, I'm delighted to say we did that for you. I love Chris's dock pick there. And
Yeah.
Interestingly, Siddles, I was just thinking to myself how well connected that whole area is, as Law was saying, because you've got the DLR, you've got the Jubilee, you've got the Elizabeth line now, you've got the railway not far into Fenchurch Street. There's a lot of different forms of public transport, and that's just the ones on rails.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting. Because I was in Chicago over the holidays, the mug that Laura was showing off earlier. This reminds me of downtown Chicago a little bit, this image, because they've got the river that comes through and the L that's elevated over. It's got sort of Chicago vibes, and of course the big skyscrapers that were then later that technology used in the early tube station. So it's got, yeah, it definitely does have a different architectural vibe than we're used to in London. But yeah, it is a very interesting station. Utilizing the water in the way that they've done is very interesting. And yeah, imagine, you know, how convenient it is going to be for business people going to business meetings in Canary Wharf, landing at Heathrow and being able to go straight into their businessy bits.
Businessy bits, indeed. It looks a bit like Minneapolis to me as well, I thought, and also reminiscent of Canary Wharf. Also, 2017, it is Canary Wharf, Alex, well done. So 2017.
I was going to say, I was like, that's because
You know, sometimes my gags are a
very
little too
reminiscent
subtle, and
of
all I
the
get in
same
the
place
corner of
that
my
it
eyes, Chris going, Christopher, where exactly is this? Because we need a little mapette, don't we? You normally have this kind of roller blind that comes down at the side of you.
It is. I'll have this space just here for it. So yes, this station at Canary Wharf sits between Whitechapel and Custom House on the Elizabeth line. So for keen fans of location, here it is.
He's very good. Someone put a map there. Who put that there? You went in 2017, didn't you? You went in 2017 to have a look at this place, didn't you, you three? And you took some chum.
We did. Yeah. We got invited when they were still in construction phase many years ago. Yeah, back in 2017, we were invited on a very toasty June day. It was 32 degrees outside on the 21st of June 2017, and we were all given high-vis. Full outfits, but what was funny is that they only really had protective, like, overclothing. They didn't really have any that were made out of sort of simple fabric,
breathable.
Yeah, they had ones that are kind of like waterproof, you know how like if you put on a water jacket or something. So they were all made out of that type of material, which just locked that moisture in.
Cool.
It's basically the full winter gear that we've got there, as you can see, and some of us took different approaches here. So as you can see, I elected to keep my clothes on underneath, and some of us were, dressed differently, and there's a variety of approaches there. Those of us who kept all the clothing on, very hot, we marinated in our clothing that day, but as you can see, City had elected for the right choice there, which was the coolest one. And
got another pick of Sid's.
I'd like to add, I am just wearing a vest top underneath. Okay, it looks like I'm not wearing anything, but I'm wearing.
I love City. This is your this old thing kind of pose that you've got going on there.
This is just hysterical.
I mean, I'm not joking. Those trousers could probably sell for like £800 if they were Balenciaga or something at this point, But
hey,
yeah,
now you've worn them, City, they're gonna sell out.
They're somewhere out there in the ether. I have no idea where. Yeah, it was really hot though.
It's quite funny because I don't know whether anyone else has ever bought hi-vi stuff. Would you ever consider wearing it shirtless, just the hi-vi, in any situation?
This is where Alex is going to tell us that he actually does on a regular basis, or something equally.
Alex, I feel whatever the situation is where you're doing that is not for discussion on the Hidden London Hangouts.
Wrong show.
It's often a quiet night on a Saturday after the episode goes out, and sometimes I dress in my hi-vi and nothing else. It's great. Now, of course, City and Laura weren't on the tour with us today. Where were you?
Yes, sorry we couldn't be there, guys. I was filming for Secrets of the London Underground Season 2, and Laura was doing something very cool.
Yeah, we've been super busy behind the scenes trying to get the next set of tours at Aldwych and Moorgate up and running. And part of our training was a track walk. So I have had the old high-vis and boots on, and I've been walking along track, all in the name of health and safety. But it was lots of fun. So yeah, that's what we were doing, unfortunately.
That's all lovely because we've all got our high-vis and we like to keep them regularly available at all times, even if we're sitting watching telly. It's that good. Now then, Chris and I did go and have a look around the station, as we hinted earlier, and we started effectively the booking hall, and we went down, around, up and out again in one fell swoop. Take a look at this.
So down, around, up and out.
Do you know what I really love about this? You just said to me, stand the other side. We've got like Ant and Dec, you and I. There's one way to stand and do this. And
otherwise
there's
people get
confused,
Now
this is a start. This is where the entrance to where everyone's going to come in.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be ticketed yet. This is just an entrance. So in you walk, and then you've got choice of lifts, or should we take the escalator?
And we're so lucky as well because look, we can see the rawness of all of this. There's still all the stuff finishing things off.
That's right, that's from when they've been finishing it. And as we come down now, little fact for you, this station has got more escalators than any other one on the Elizabeth line.
That's pretty cool. And
21, I think, though I haven't counted them personally.
We can later. I'm noticing already, and we'll talk about this a bit later on, yellow.
Yeah.
There's more on this.
You're going to see a lot of that.
And yeah, because I think we've touched on this before, but we'll talk about this in a bit. The architecture very grey, very liney, isn't it? As
And
well
we've just
here.
seen these sound bars that we've seen at previous stations, again to scatter the sound and stop echo. You can see it's ready for its adverts over the escalators, and there we go. The grand entrance and ticket barriers ahead of you.
It's huge, isn't it?
Isn't it?
You can see it from the outside, that what looks like a cruise liner. It's only when you look right down the extent of this building do you see just how massive this is.
It's a classic station box design, just like really the Jubilee line extension station. Similar idea. You've got this big box built in a dock. It's just this one's a lot bigger. And
it feels longer, but do you know what? I do still love the Jubilee line station at Canary Wharf because you come down and it's like an enormous chamber. This is a lot more, it feels almost intimate here.
Yeah, well, what's different here is you've got this intermediary concourse. So this has more ways to get in and around it. So Canary Wharf, you've kind of limited by the ways that you can come into it. This one is perhaps a bit more effective at distributing people around the station and making the best use of the space. Now, we can just see ahead of us here, we've got the escalators that would take you up into the shopping centre, and then the ticket barriers to the right are where you actually enter the station.
So we'll go through the gate line now.
And if we just look up, you can see some of what I was talking about when we're outside. Here we've got the ceilings being completed, and one last bit to finish off is the ceiling bars that will go that way.
And they'll go perpendicular. So
that's right.
They're that way and these are going to be this way.
That's right, yeah.
Also notice as well, the escalators are labelled with this lovely sort of serif font. I don't know what it is, but
well, you
it's
can
beautiful.
tell this is not any form of Johnston font, but that's because it's heading back up to the shopping centre. So that's going to a non-station part of the building here.
Yellow again.
That's right.
There's more of this, isn't there?
There
Wherever
is.
we go. And I'm loving this as well. Look at this. If I didn't love purple before, I will love it now. There's probably a Pantone number and name for this, isn't there?
Oh, definitely.
There's got to be.
I don't know what it is, but you see, this is rather nice actually. Look, you can see it in its plan view here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And it does. It just floats in a dock,
That's right.
doesn't it? It's just.
It
It's
does.
incredible.
Might as well just be tied up at the wharf.
And this is what I had my eye on.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do like these glass roundels. They're really rather nice. I mean, they play havoc when we're trying to film them because you get the lovely Chris Bevanley who give us a wave in the background.
Chris.
Thank you again.
Lovely, Chris. So nice. We've missed Chris actually because we had a little pause for filming just while the television series was being done and all that kind of thing. But now we're back. It's lovely to have Chris back on the team.
It is.
And look, the number of cupboards even.
Yeah.
These things are whacking great stations, aren't they?
You know, from whenever we're exploring disused stations, that those early stations are built on a very small scale. They don't have a lot of usable space, and they always have to tuck modern equipment into any available leftover space. Here, there's bags of space. It's so easy to naturally map your way around. You've never been here before, but straight away you know the trains are down there. You've got loads of ways to get down there, multiple lifts all the way along the length of it. And it's just dead easy to use, isn't it?
It's glorious. And we're doing this pretty much in real time as well as we walk around the station because it's a little bit different. And you really are struck by the amount of kit that is required even to do the finishing touches.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to get up there and do your ceiling installation, do work over escalators. You're going to need scaffolding. You're going to need cherry pickers. And but, you know, you look that way, it's done, isn't it?
It's glorious. Another one of those lovely roundels and more yellow, which is it just keeps presenting itself. And it's very symmetrical, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
You've got cupboards there, you've got cupboards the other side.
That's right, yeah. And they talk about it being a two-box design because they sort of treat one half of the station as one unit and the other half as another one. But little thing I want to show you is just over here, something we haven't talked about so far. We've got the operations room for the station just there, but we have a rather special bit that we've not explored, which all of these new stations are equipped with, which is the emergency escapes.
And what was really lovely about this is when we were having a chat with the teams here, there was this question mark as to whether we'd be allowed to show you this. And the station manager is so lovely, Adam, isn't it? And he's so lovely. And he went, where would you like to go? And we said, we'd like to go through there and show them this. And he said, of course you can. Let's do it. Let's do it. So here we are.
Fitting these started really with the Jubilee line, but now modern stations.
Let's do it. Do it. It's like a scene from Eurotrash, isn't it, actually, me and you? We had a fur coat. I mean, I've got some fur.
So you've got emergency refuge point there with a lift as well, and then we've got the main evacuation stairs here. So you think, wow, this is a big station.
I've never seen one of those before. Evacuation lift lit up.
So it's yes, this is a proper fire compartmentalised evacuation lift. And you think you've just been in a massive station, but then you realise there's all of this again with evacuation route, ventilation, and the station box is actually much, much bigger than the space that you're in normally as a passenger.
These are the doors. Yeah, left and right. Let's do it again.
Do it
again.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do it.
You first.
Ah.
And this feels like being in some kind of sports stadium, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
So you've got the evacuation route coming up from platform level, and then on up here, boom, 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 you get back up to the surface level.
And do you know what really strikes me? The width of this escape. It's
Yeah.
so big. And the other thing is, of course, hardly any combustible materials.
Well, that's right, none, in fact, because you're in a
It's your
what's
way
classed
out.
as a Section 12 station.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, what's Section 12?
Section 12, there's a post-King's Cross fire set of regulations which deals with compliance of materials and procedures to make sure that you don't have catastrophic fires in underground stations. You asked earlier about what has to go on now in this handover period, and this is one of the things. There now needs to be a set of exercises and trial operations where we put a realistic number of people into these stations and test evacuation times and make sure that people do find their way out properly in the allotted time. So it's that kind of thing which takes it from being the work site into the operational station.
And you'll notice as well that the only striking colour in this whole place, so there's a lot of white to make it light, is this yellow again. In just a moment, we'll explain what this implication is, because it's really cool.
Okay, let's go and get back on.
Let's do it,
I hope
let's
we can
do it.
find our way out, thank goodness.
Yeah, let's do it, let's do it. Heavy door, risk of slamming. Great in an argument. Great in an argument. So this backstage bit, we always call it backstage, don't we?
Uh-huh.
I just love the fact there's a little bit of a theatrical bent about it all as well.
Well,
And
as you can
walk
see,
through-
it's quite functional in,
Yeah.
its design, but it doesn't, it's not going to have people using it routinely, we hope. So
It's cool.
it doesn't need all of this lovely stainless steel here, the hard-wearing floors, some actual granite, I think. It's rather
lovely,
nice.
isn't it?
Used to seeing terrazzo, but that's really rather nice.
And we spotted this in all the stations, that the quality of the materials used. I mean, this is built to last,
It
isn't it?
really is. I mean, and also when you consider the size of it, that's a sizable investment to do it properly. It's good.
I'll be fascinated to see people's faces on day one when people start using these stations to see what they think. Come over here.
So these things are known as GLAPs. I can't even remember what it stands for. Somebody will be frantically typing in the chat. But this is a single person point of refuge and safety for the staff. But this one's rather cute. It looks quite TARDIS-y because it's got a little strobe.
I'd heard about this.
But look inside. Look at the seat. Look at that for attention
It's
to detail.
maquetted with the same stuff as is on the trains. In
I
fact,
approve.
Sidney and Laura and Chris, you have that on
Yeah,
my
we do.
Christmas
We've
present
got the
cushion.
So I heartily approve of that.
I just love
let's
it.
nip through this gate.
Even the seats in the little help boxes have got maquette in them. Absolutely awesome.
Now, engineering on show. We've got our elliptical pillars, but look at this huge support beam
Yeah.
just there. We're going to
Yeah.
see those all the way down the station, but they look rather chunky, don't they?
Yeah.
Clearly doing a lot of work.
This is just lovely, absolutely lovely. And we were saying lifts and escalators, 21 escalators, but there seems to be plenty of lifts as well.
So many lifts. So the ones in the centre.
Look at the weights, guys.
Oh, you got the counterweights.
Got to see. I don't know whether you can get this, Chris, on the screen, but look at the number of weights in this lift. In
Could
fact,
you bench that? Do you think?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't. But if I call the lift, what happens? Let's have a quick look at what happens when you call the lift. Oh, look at that. Where's that gone?
Well, that'll disappear
That's fascinating.
and be
Look, here it
replaced by
comes.
a lift cabin.
Oh, look at Chris. The film. I don't normally see the viewfinder. This is great.
Oh,
Hello. Welcome
I
to the
didn't
lift.
know we were going to do that. So.
That's quite a blessing. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
So back with that, and then we've got to go down these escalators here and
Yeah,
look at the.
let's go and use the ones at the end.
Yep. We've literally done the. This is actually almost an exercise workout, isn't it?
It is really, yeah.
I love all this, and I love the fact these. We've not got totems here.
Well, you will see a few totems, but we're very much into totem cops territory again.
And to
not
remind
very
anyone
many.
who's not seen any of the other episodes, totems are like those. They're like stumps out the ground with loads of signs on them to guide people. Aren't
That's
they?
right. They're
Totem.
floor-standing modules which have got signage, lighting, sometimes cameras, speakers. We'll see all of it when we get down below.
Lovely
so
stuff.
Let's hop over to these.
Yep.
Let's take the left
Look
one.
at that, slow, and as we
Yeah.
get to them, they speed up. I love
I've tried
this.
sneaking up on them, but they do notice it, even if you
Saw
tiptoe.
that. I've seen you do this, and it cracks me up. It's like you're trying to shock an escalator. But as we go down, and to me, these evolving views are just so exciting. And you get down to about this point, and you start to
Oh,
see
look,
what
two
these
trains.
I
One
know.
leaving,
Look at that.
one standing.
Literally there. Off to Paddington,
Wow.
off to Abbey Wood, that size.
Wow.
And it's bright down here, isn't it?
It is
It's really
again,
bright.
All of these stations have got their own character. This one's far brighter than any of the ones that we've seen before. I know the light panels can be varied, but of course we've talked about the lighting before. You have this cold white light, really cool light, in places where we're looking for people not to dwell. So we want to move them out into the warmer lighting, and you can just see it looks kind of more inviting upstairs. So this is off the train and naturally map your way out. There goes the train.
And this is interesting because would you say this light is warm or cool? Because to me it's a mix of the two almost. It's very
you
bright.
can have in between the two. These are controllable as well, so you can just see they're not all quite set to the same intensity at the moment, but they can vary the lighting down or up. Also, we've got the pillar, different again. Yeah, let's different again.
I love it.
Built into the pillar. It's rather nice.
It's
I've not
rather
seen that
sexy
before.
actually, that. I like the way that that's into the metal. It looks
And
really lovely.
I know we've talked about this before in different ways on other stations, but these are contrast strips, and they're designed to help visually impaired people see that there is an obstruction here. If it was just all flat steel, it would be harder to read that. Obviously got a roundel there, which stands out in contrast. And just over on the doors here, you can see they've done a similar thing on the glass, where they've got these white contrast strips to help see where the doors are and not sort of walk into them by accident.
Is it just me who gets a real kick out of seeing new maps that I'm still staggered. You know, this is where I live, and I can't believe I've got effectively an underground railway line coming to Woolwich. I've had the DLR for ages, but
not
the
far
idea
away
of it-
now.
It's incredible.
So we're going to have to get used to seeing this extra bit of the map, aren't we?
Absolutely love it. Quick question. Oh, go on.
Totem. You asked about that.
yes,
so there we
go
go. We've only got a few here on this station. No forests.
So no totem forest. This is would you call it a totem copse?
Totem copse
You
is
tart.
where you've only got a small number
You
of
tart.
trees. But
yeah.
the thing with these is you tend to get more of them when you've got the concourse in between. So a station like that's mined rather than a box. So Tottenham Court Road, Liverpool Street, they have a lot of these, but this one's only got a few.
Cool. We're going to go past the escalator on the way to the lift. And again, the escalators are shrouded in yellow. Tell us about the yellow, because I think I know why. So tell me more.
We can see that I believe they're called newel panels. The sides of the escalators are yellow, translucent yellow. You'll notice that the undersides of them are yellow as well. And when we get to the lifts, you'll also see they're yellow. I think we saw that when you called the lift up, the box inside is yellow. And it's used to signify the way out. This is something which has been done for quite a while. And you probably didn't really pick up on it as you're travelling around on the tube, but the way out signs are yellow on black. If you remember when we've talked in the past about the original Jubilee line stations, so Baker Street through to Charing Cross, they used yellow around the entrances, sorry, the exits to the platform to signify that was the way out. So it's a technique that does have a history on the underground, in the broadest sense of the underground.
But interestingly, the other thing about yellow is, isn't this the last colour you'll see in smoke?
I've heard that said, but what it's usually about is it's a good contrast colour. As long as you've got it alongside a dark colour,
Like black.
it stands out, exactly, yeah. It stands out, and you can see it does on the escalators, and you can see the yellow inside the lift. So
It's glorious. Should we get in the lift and have a look at it?
yeah, let's just
Oh,
let the
look.
train come in, off to Paddington.
Oh, we've got to do a door moment, haven't we? Let's do it. We do it
and
everywhere we
can
go.
just, for those, if this is your first hangout on these, then you have these fantastic information panels, real-time information panels above.
You should be a tour guide, you know. I don't know whether you've ever done this before, Chris.
yes.
Maybe you should be.
Open sesame.
And look at that, you can see that beautiful moquette. You don't just get it in the little help booth, actually on the trains. I mean, everything about this is new and gorgeous and lovely, isn't it?
It really is.
We've got to do an episode on a train somehow fairly soon
At
because
some
they
point,
look so
yeah.
lovely. So lovely. And as I say, when you look up, we spend so much time looking at our phones, but when you look up, you start to see just how big this box is that this station is put in. And I really like this as well. It's one for you, Laura. The different sizes of panel.
Yeah,
It
that
just
is
adds
quite
to
nicely
interest,
laid out,
doesn't it?
It just helps to break it up. So helpfully, you've got a lift map here which shows you how you can get up, and you can see that the ones at the end of the platform go straight up from platform level into the entrances, but these ones in the middle of the platform take you up to the next level.
And it's very yellow.
Really is.
It's very, very yellow.
It's the yellowest place I've been.
In fact, the only thing that's black is my eyes. It's incredible. But again, what a lovely station, Chris.
Good size as well.
Yeah, really good.
And you've got you notice you've got the in-out doors as well. Those doors allow you just to roll in one side if you're using a wheelchair and roll out the other with no turning around. And nice big lift. So that's a good thing.
It's glorious. Now, do you want to go back up the escalator to the exit and then we've completed our tour?
I think we should.
What I really love about these stations, and we've said this before, there's something really heartening whenever we're in these stations. It doesn't matter if it's old station, new station. The passion and the kindness that the staff show us. Everybody is so lovely. Adam, the boss, here. We had Lou Andrew, didn't we? Who we met at Paddington. He's now working at this
Part
station
of the family now.
It's really lovely. And the first thing they say to you is, are you all right? Do you need anything? Now, I do have something, and I think you've got something to give me.
Indeed.
But knowing you as I do, lovely, I've got a funny feeling we'll probably give each other the same thing.
So when we got here, we were offered to make sure that we signed in. We were told after we'd signed in, we could have one of these.
And the thing about it is, right, because we're so lovely to each other, we've got one each for each other. So
there you go.
There you go. Enjoy.
And don't worry, Cindy and Laura, we've got some for you as well.
Let's make this final journey out of here. I think we're going to have to go that way round through the gate line there because they look all locked off, don't they?
All I heard was a little from Laura. She noticed I'd put on a little high vibe. I can't get rid of it, really. I mean, she's always on my back. How lovely was that? Laura, so much for you to see and absorb. There were things on the wall. There were open spaces, closed spaces. What did you make of it?
I mean, I thought it was great, and my mind went straight back to my original reaction outside of classy and sleek yet contemporary, and I do think that's what it's like inside as well. Love the sense of space. I mean, your eye has just got so fast to see, and I guess when you're there like you guys were physically, you probably feel like you're in a huge vast space as well. I love the mix of signage and branding. I love that some of it is traditional signage that's kind of 3D and hanging or out of the walls. I love that some of it is sunk 2D into the walls, so it blends and you can just walk past and there's no obstruction. And I love that some of it is textured on top of a pillar as well, such as the roundel at the bottom. So I think that's a very clever variation of material and textures, and I really like that. And I think one of my favorite things was the minimal but very striking use of color. And my brain didn't know about, or I didn't know about the yellow to begin with, and I probably should have done. But as you went into the corridor at the back, which was the escape route, I did start to think, oh, hang on a minute, the handrails are yellow and so's the strip on the stairs. So it's got to be something to do with the movement of people or the flow of traffic. So when Chris explained it later, that kind of, tick, I realised that's what it's for, and how very clever and how very striking. So yeah, I really liked it, guys, really liked it.
Oh, I'm so pleased. And Siddy, I mean, I was first of all delighted that I could get the word perpendicular into any episode that we do. But you sitting in your yellow chair, you are the goddess of yellow. We now know why it's all yellow. But I tell you something that struck me, and you must get this when you're filming your TV series. How far do we walk? That was such a long distance.
Yeah.
Relaxing, Sid.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. God, and those spaces are vast. I mean, they really have scaled them up to anticipate how much, how many people are going to be able to use each one of these stations. I mean, what I really liked about that is that it's definitely got the palette of Crossrail that we've seen at other stations. It's got the similar kind of materials, but it also has quite a heavy nod towards the Jubilee line Canary Wharf station. I think there's definite similarities. It kind of it's got that spaceship feel to it that Canary Wharf in the Jubilee line Canary Wharf has. I don't know what you guys thought about that, but yeah, you are on your feet a lot doing this stuff. I mean, God, sometimes when we're shooting the show, it's like I'm standing for 10 hours or something. So it's
I was just going to say, it's incredible the detail as well, because I mean, obviously we do love our moquette. I love mine, but Chris, even the little help booth with the moquette seat and that kind of thing, it is the attention to detail that's so striking about these designs, isn't it?
It is. I think both Laura and Siddy have kind of hinted at the key thing with this place is those little pops of colour really scream out, because the station is so large and there's so much steel and glass and stone. So when they do inject those little pops of colour, they really shout out, and it's great. The other thing which I think I've known Canary Wharf Jubilee line since my very first job at the museum when it first opened 22 years ago, and the thing that strikes me about this new Canary Wharf station is it's kind of, the experience is a little bit the other way up than the Jubilee line. There, when you go into the station from ground level on the Jubilee line, there's this enormous sense of space and rush when you go into it. Here, the drama, I think, is more when you're at the platform level. There's a greater sense of scale when you're down on the platform looking back up than when you first go in. So I think it's nice that they've got their own take on that, although fundamentally they're a very similar design with that box in the water. They've got their own identity, and I like that.
This one reminded me more of a Dubai shopping centre. It just has that glitz about it, and the escalators everywhere. It just feels like there's escalators everywhere. So cool. We've got a couple of photographs as well, haven't we, Chris?
We do, yeah. So from our 2017 visit, we were able to have a look at some of the spaces which are now impossible to look at because there are trains running through them. So here we go.
Yeah. Gosh, this was when they were putting up the platform edge dividers and everything. So this was, running track, but where you see that's where they, they're doing all the construction stuff, and they even got the electricity being sort of supplied there.
Yeah, the overhead catenary being set up there, and as you say, you've got the hoarding is there ready for the works train to come in and fit the platform edge doors. So yeah, it was a nice.
I remember it actually. I remember them saying, "Oh yeah, we've got the edge doors coming in a couple of days or something." It was very exciting to kind of see it all being constructed.
What's rather cool, I think we've already shared this with our Patreons, there's a platform edge door mounting machine that kind of lifts them into place directly off the train. So it's quite an elegant and relatively swift process to put in some enormous pieces of equipment. We've also got this other view looking the other way up the tunnel, which I think is really rather cool. Note the cool and the warm light again, even in the tunnel. I reckon it's there
Yeah.
to help the train speed up out of the cool light and into the warm.
I quite like the idea that a tube tunnel would actually be lit all the time. It's kind of quite cool. Strip lights in massive, great long rows. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? At least you'd be able to see out the window, see what's going on, and see the disused stations. Although I hope it'll be a very long time before we've got a disused station on the Elizabeth line. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. As always, team, just fabulous to explore new places, wasn't it? I mean, it was good fun, wasn't it, Chris, as well, doing it all in one shot for a change.
It was, yeah. Doing it as just a continuous one-take walkthrough was rather good fun. Of course, if you go there yourself once it's open, don't forget to take in the beautiful parkland that's on top of it.
That's really interesting. They've made like a whole kind of sky garden thing there, haven't they?
It's stunning. There's some great footage online of that being built, and the special glazing units being put into place, and all of that glulam roof. It's really rather remarkable architecture to behold. So definitely worth a look.
Gorgeous stuff. Now, we love meeting the very people who make the system work, especially those who seem to migrate with us from one station to another.
Do you know, I love coming to stations. We get to meet all the people who work here, and they're all adorable. Now, there's one face at Canary Wharf we've seen before. Lou, I remember you from Paddington.
Yep.
So now this is your station, right?
Yeah, this is where I'll be based, one of the controllers here. And yeah.
It's a big day for you. You've just got the station off the builders.
This is monumental.
What's today all about? What sort of stuff goes on today? The like day one of getting the keys.
So this is obviously, so the handover date, having given over the keys, and it's just us coming into our station and making it our own, but with the help of the contractors beforehand.
So I first met you at Paddington Station.
That's right. Yeah.
Now this is your home. What are the differences in terms of the look of Paddington and Canary Wharf? What's the differences in the stations?
So with Paddington, from your lovely video, guys, you guys said it was just a box and it was great. But whereas with Canary Wharf, it's sort of like, I guess, like a cruise liner.
Yeah.
You've got the promenade level at the top, and then you've got us downstairs in the engine room sort of making things run. And I think that's what I love about Canary Wharf, because we're kind of situated in such a financial district. It's so cool to be the heart of the operations. And yeah, it's just really cool that we get to be in the center of it all.
It's so nice meeting staff. And I always love the fact that you're all so smiley and you'll help us out.
Behind this.
What is it you love about working for London's transport system?
The transport system, I have been a fan from a very, very young age. From being in love with Thomas the Tank Engine. And
oh, man.
So I've always wanted to get in within the transport industry. And I think it's just the operations of it all, how it's always non-stop, the hustle and bustle, but the safety obviously is key. I think that's why I'm a big enforcer of safety.
Well, after Christmas, I'm now modelling myself on the Fat Controller.
Well, yes.
So thank you
we can
very
both
much.
be it.
Yeah, absolutely, not you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad you're looking after us, and really looking forward to this station opening, because like all the other ones on this line, they are super sexy.
Right, yeah. It's a privilege to have you guys here. I've been following the videos for quite some time, and you kept me sane through lockdown, giving me my transport buzz.
This is so cool. Thank you so much.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Lovely, Lou. Thank you so much. And so nice that, you know, the people who work on the London Underground actually watch this and enjoy it as well. It's so cool. Now, there was one other thing that happened while Chris and I were there. It was around about lunchtime, and Chris, as in his usual way, and city law, you'll know this, Chris will just go, I'm just popping off for a minute, just to do something. And ages later, he still hasn't come back. So I thought, well, I'm hungry now, so I'm going to use the facilities in the station to summon him from the control room. Staff call, could Chris Nix come to the control room, please? Alex wants his lunch. Thank you.
Yeah, so me just disappearing off was me saying, so I need to go and shoot the footage for the virtual tour. You had heard me say that. And then I went through the set of doors that you saw with the emergency exit. And unlike in the video that you just saw, it shut behind me. And there I was stuck inside, no signal, and thinking, oh, it's all right. They heard me say where I was going. I won't have to wait long. And instead, I'm treated to Alex making announcements about, come on, I'm hungry.
Bing bong, sandwich time.
Thanks for that.
It was very, very good. I have to say, it's the usual deal though. If I see buttons, I have to push them. And there was a microphone hanging out of a desk. It's like, this is too much fun to be had here. I'm like a large child, really. So much fun. Thank you so much to everyone at Canary Wharf for letting us have a look round. Chris and I had a great day, and City Law, absolutely wonderful. Next time we're on the trail with you, it's going to be fantastic. Now then, notes, queries and questions, because it's a bit interesting, this one. First of all, I was in a pub on Sunday.
No.
And I
That's
was.
unlikely.
I don't
was.
believe it.
I was,
Surely you're
yeah.
doing dry January, aren't you?
No, absolutely no. And as I was being served my lunch, and I have to say, I get really excited when this happens. This very, very lovely man who worked in the pub called Stanimir. Hello, Stanimir. In fact, this is Stanimir. Said to me, "Could I just ask, are you Alex, the guy who presents the Hidden London Hangout?"
No.
And everyone else around the table.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so cool. And Stanimir is in London. He's training to be a pianist, and he works in the Crusting Pipe in Covent Garden. I love the name of that pub. And he watches the Hidden London Hangout. So, guys, big wave to Stanimir.
Stanimir.
He loves
Thanks
it.
for
He
watching.
absolutely loves it. And by the time this episode goes out, he will know that he's received this from me, because I went and bought it for him. So he's a massive fan of the Elizabeth line. So I've actually bought him one of the London Transport Museum masks.
Oh, that's
today.
lovely.
Thank you for making all my friends think I'm famous.
God,
It's lovely.
Can I just say that nobody
don't
has
get
ever
recognised.
stopped me? Oh, yes, you do, Siddy. Nobody has ever recognised me or ever stopped me. So please, if you do see me, just one person who watches the Hangouts, just come and say hi.
Could someone just accost Laura for any particular
Oh
reason
no, not
in the
accost
supermarket?
me. Just say
Run
hi.
after her with a box of fish fingers or something like that and go, Laura, Laura.
Why fish fingers?
Booting.
It'd be very.
Oh, hang on, look.
It'd be
Look.
great.
Oh, I
wouldn't
can't.
it? Look on.
I noticed.
Oh, that is
Booting.
brilliant,
That
Laura.
was my little Christmas present to.
So I've
Laura.
wanted to do that, but obviously we haven't recorded so much recently. But I've wanted to do that since I opened it, because I met Chris over Christmas. We hung out at Clapham South for a little bit, and he gave me my Christmas present. But I opened it after I saw him, so I've wanted to go tooting
I
for
love it.
ages. So there we go.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
For those people who are going, what are they going on about? I think it was the episode. Was it also known as the episode called "Also
think
Known
it
As"?
was.
in
So
season
it was
two,
definitely a
where
quiz.
you,
The only
you
answer I
shouted out
knew.
the answer to a question,
Yeah.
and it was.
Tooting!
I love it. I love it. Now, normally I would read out a load of your messages, but not today, because we're going to delve into Siddy's small sack.
Oh,
That's what everyone wants, isn't it? Yeah.
Indeed, they do.
Yeah.
Now
Now-
then, Sid, what have you got for us?
It's very small. We got sent a couple of. Well, I was at the office the other day, and I saw that we had two cards that I thought I'd
nice.
bring in. Apologies if anyone has sent stuff and we haven't seen it or responded. It's we're not in the office very much these days because of working from home, although that is changing soon, and so we've not been given a lot of our mail. So apologies, but I saw this, so I figured I'd better bring it to the crew. Ooh, okay. Ooh, it's a Christmas card.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh.
It has Great Bedouin number 20 on it.
I thought it said bedwetting.
And it says, to Alex, Chris, Laura, Siddy, and all the Hidden London Hangouts crew, wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Stuart Cohen, aka Stuart Bus Driver.
Oh, lovely.
yay! Thank
Hey,
you.
Stuart, one of our
So
patrons.
sweet.
Thank
This is reminiscent
you.
of the telly in the 70s, isn't it? When they were just opening
This is very
cards.
lovely. Okay, and then there's one more. Again, these are the ones that I saw at the office. So
It's lovely opening cards in January, isn't it? Christmas.
It's always
okay,
fun.
so to Alex and your three amazing friends from the London Transport Museum, Chris, Siddy, and Laura, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Root Master cocktails all round from Carol Ergen.
Yay!
That is
Thank
so
you,
sweet.
Carol.
Thank you
Thanks, Carol.
so much. We love mail. I can't get enough mail. usually.
I love
And,
mail. Honestly, I love it. Love it.
well, with the exception of Chris, we all do. Chris, what have you got for us?
Well, I too received a piece of post from Tim Clark, who has been watching our episodes very carefully and has noticed that we have been to one place a number of times and thought that it might send something that might be useful for us in the future. Some of our most successful episodes, in fact, have not been based in London, but have been based on London trains on the Isle of Wight. And so thank you, Tim, for sending an Isle of Wight timetable, a vintage one. So look, it's got a totem on it, Laura, just like your toting.
Yay!
So
Nice.
we'll consult that and compare it the next time we go back there. But what's lovely about it is it's got many of the places that are no longer served on some of the lines that are completely gone on the Isle of Wight. So thank you very much for that. It's very thoughtful, and full marks for watching very carefully what we do. Thank you.
That is so lovely, isn't it? Now, in true old telly style, we have an address to send your mail to. I don't write much down for these episodes, but I've had to write the address down because Siddy said it to me very fast and I scribbled it. So
Okay, do you want me to say it again? I can say it again.
I feel like I'm about to give a sermon.
Right.
You need to go to, it is the Hidden London Hangouts, care of the London Transport Museum. Siddles, the rest?
London Transport Museum, first floor, Albany House, 94 Petty France, London, United Kingdom, SW1H9EA.
Oh, isn't that great? That'll be a postcode that sticks, won't it? That's going to be marvellous. Lovely. We've got thank yous as well. Adam, the manager at Canary Wharf, thank you so much. To Lou as well, thank you. To Chris Bevan Lee, I don't quite remember how we describe him. I describe him as our mixologist because he does a mix of everything for us, doesn't he, Chris?
He does. He's a fabulous man. Thank you very much again, Chris, for that.
Just for filming us and making us look so much better than we really are. And I mean, the fact that you caught me bald patch, that worried me a little bit, but there we are.
You don't have a bald patch.
Well, I'll just have to do a little bit of extra work or maybe wear a hat. Thank you very much, as always, Siddy Holloway.
Thank you very much, Alex Grundon and everyone.
And to Laura Hilton Brown, you are lovely. Thank you.
Oh, it's been a great one. I really love that station. Well done, guys.
And to Christopher Nix for touring around with me my shoe leather.
Yeah, and don't worry, we weren't joking. We did actually get you a couple of chockies each. So next time I see you, those are yours. So until then. Bye.
As always, thanks very much indeed for finding us on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment down below. On Instagram, it's Alex Grundon, Chris Nix, Siddy Holloway, Hidden London Law and at LT Museum. Follow us, comment, like our stuff, and we'll tell you where we're going next. Back at an amazing episode next week in a wonderful place. Have yourself a great day and stay safe.